What's up, everybody? Steven here for Off the Shelf Movie Night to talk to you about physical media, about Blu-rays and 4Ks, and all the things we love to collect and own, and the way we like to watch our physical media. I'm doing something a little different for you, a little different format, doing some experimenting with YouTube, and taking advantage of this opportunity to show you some things that I've been meaning to show for a very long time, and am kind of just been procrastinating because this is kind of a big book. This is a very unassuming looking binder, and it's a little bit beat up from age and whatever, but this has a lot of meaning to me, and I thought I would show it to you. A lot of us have things in our collection, like autographs. A lot of us have them from different... some people buy and collect autographs, and that's great. That's not for me. I do love to have autographs, but I like to have autographs that are attached to a real story, to some event that I've been through. Sorry. So the autographs in here were mostly acquired during my time working full-time as a journalist for a number of different websites and some travels that I did with my first documentary project, which was a documentary about conventions. So I was very privileged to have met a lot of cool people and have a lot of great stories. And I'm not going to tell you all those stories here because I don't want this video to be hours long, but I'm going to try to abbreviate and just share some cool stuff as we move along through what's inside here. So if you like this kind of stuff, if you're into physical media, Blu-ray and DVD collecting, that kind of thing, 4K purchasing, and you also enjoy pop culture, which is more like what we're doing today, please give me a subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all the upcoming things happening with the channel here. Anyway, let's jump into this. First, we have an autograph from Michael Berryman. This is the original Hills Have Eyes poster art that is also on the Blu-ray set. He signed it there. He is such a super sweet guy. That's really all I can tell you. I was just doing some photography and some video work at a convention, and he was there, and I got to speak with him, and I just bought an autograph from him because he just struck me as a really cool dude. And also, this is one of my top favorite horror films of all time. So Michael Berryman, very, very cool guy. Hoping to see him again when things get back moving, because I'd love to have him sign that really cool Arrow video box set that I now have. All right, here we have LeVar Burton from Star Trek The Next Generation. I was simply just doing a Star Trek event and just, again, doing photo ops. And met him, very cool guy, and I picked up an autograph from him. And that's a lot of these stories. It's just, moments in time, little conversations, that you get to have. Here we have a twofer. We have, I'm looking to try and pronounce his name correctly, Scott Rang, maybe? Rang? I like him in this movie, but honestly, I was after Ken Foray because I was doing a horror event and they were both there, and I thought, man, I've just got to get a photo signed by Ken Foray, and since they were both there, Dawn of the Dead is a classic horror film. One of the greatest, if not the greatest, zombie films ever made. So, one of my favorites. So, didn't get to spend much time with him, but with Ken Foray, I did get to have some conversations with throughout the event at different photo ops and stuff that I was doing. So, a very, very cool guy. Super cool. All right, here we have Kane Hodder. I was doing a documentary project for Microsoft, actually, for the original Xbox 360, and he was one of the interviewees, and he gave me a demonstration. I'll never forget this, on how stuntmen get choked in films, and this guy lifted me off the ground, and I'm not a small person by any means. He just picked me right up and, gifted me a photo at the end of the interview. So here we have Mark Singer. This is from The Beastmaster, if you don't know this. I think at the time that I met him, he was new to this type of pop culture event, maybe. He just didn't seem very talkative, but I was there actually to talk to someone else, and he offered me a photo, and I took it because I love this movie. Very cool version of it from Vinegar Syndrome out there in 4K now, but you'll see who I was actually there to meet in just a second because I'm flipping to that page right now. and that is Tanya Roberts. She also was in Beastmaster. Very lovely actress, very lovely, sweet person. I really enjoyed my time with her. If you don't know, she was also a Bond girl, and if you ever watched that 70s show, she played Midge, the next door neighbor. But yeah, a very, very lovely person, and she's passed away now, so it's very sad. But I'm glad I got to have that brief amount of time to actually get to interview her and spend some time talking with her. Very cool. We have Margot Kidder. Margot Kidder was in a lot of things. Mostly for me, she was in the original Superman. That's her right there. And she was also in the original Black Christmas. 2 really great films. And again, she was super nice too. Very, very accommodating person and cool to meet and spend time talking to. Dick Warlock. Dick Warlock was in my very first documentary project. He was very gracious, did a very lengthy interview with me, and talked a lot about his history playing Michael Myers here. And I didn't realize it. I'm based in Nashville, Tennessee. At the time, I don't know now, but he was living in a small town a few hours away from here in Tennessee. Jewel State. Jewel State was in Firefly. She was also, I believe she was in one of the Stargate spinoffs, maybe Atlantis or one of those. Correct me if you know in the comments below. But I was doing a Firefly event, like a reunion event that they convention had put together, and was doing some video work, and ended up having a lot of communication with her after that event. A lot of these folks, when you meet them for whatever reason, they say, "Oh, cool, can't wait to see you again," whatever, blah blah blah. But particularly a couple of people from this cast were like legit about it. I had email conversations with her about other projects, and just very, very cool, sweet person. She really kind of plays herself in that show. Nathan Fillion. Nathan Fillion was at that same event. There's a handful of pictures in here from Firefly because I met all of these people during that photo shoot. Very, very, very high energy and hilarious. Some of the other photos that I don't take these photos, by the way. I was taking press pictures for a couple of websites and whatnot, and doing some articles. But the press pictures that I was taking, if you ever want to see them, you have to say in the comments, and I'll see if I can find them, because he was photobombing my pictures of the other cast members. Very funny. This is Gil Gerard. Gil Gerard is most well known for this. This is a 70s show, I believe, called Buck Rogers and the 25th Century. Again, very cool guy. This was a photo, a very personal photo for me, because as a child, a movie I probably should not have seen, Revenge of the Ninja, was something, that was my first superhero film, really, as a child, because this ninja was a badass. He climbed walls, he had all kinds of gadgets, he was the ninja equivalent of Batman, except maybe definitely a lot more brutal. But this is Sho Kosugi. If there was a ninja movie happening in the 80s, it was him. He was more than likely the ninja, and total badass and like really amazing person. This is another sad one for me, because I've spent time with Sid Haig several times at different events, doing video and photo coverage and writing articles and that kind of thing, and every time was just a blast. He was so much fun to spend time with and talk to. And this is from House of a Thousand Corpses, and of course he wrote Shit the Bed, which is hilarious, and he also has passed, so it's very sad, but I was very privileged to get to spend that much time with him. Bill Moseley, that dog will hunt right there, his quote. He really made that movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2, and the funny thing was, at that particular event, he spoke with me most of the time about my poster, because I brought a poster with me because I knew he was going to be there, and some of the other Texas Chainsaw folks, and I have that poster on the wall, and I believe I've showed that on another video. Very cool guy. Jerry Doyle. Jerry Doyle was in a TV show from the 90s called Babylon 5. To me, it was the evolution of what Star Trek started out to be. My memory of him was at the event where he was doing his signing and press roundtable discussions and whatnot. And this, again, I think was a reunion event for that series, and he and two of the other cast members were slipping booze to each other under their tables. Very funny. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, you guys. Just catching up here. This is Linda Blair, if you don't know, from The Exorcist. And also the grown-up version of Linda Blair, which is probably a picture I would have rather had, to be honest with you, from Hell Night, movie I really love, but this movie scares the shit out of me, The Exorcist. And a lot of younger people are bored by it because it is a slow pace, but I think it's very precise. She was super cool and, again, really accommodating to every fan that came up for photos and whatnot. Just a very cool, sweet disposition on her. Very nice person. Bob Kane, this was just it does have a signature, just not a handwritten signature though. DC Comics had these in an event, just gifted me one, so I just stuck it in here. So this is a great picture here. This is George Perez, who is, if you're into comics, you know the name George Perez. He wrote and also did artwork for both Marvel and DC. And he has done one of my favorite Marvel DC crossovers, honestly. So he was doing quick one-off drawings for charity at an event, and I gave him some money for a Thor, because I already have a very exquisitely drawn Captain America from him hanging on my wall here. And I believe I've shown that in a previous video. But he knocked this out in just a few seconds, and it's just really cool to have something hand-drawn by George Perez. I'm not going to go through all of these. If you're into the Cartoon Network show Squidbillies, there was a reunion event for them, and they all signed a card for me, a postcard. I was there. This is Claudia Christian. She was also in Babylon 5, a very, very cool person, very spicy, very spunky with people. And, you can tell she's just kind of like a take-no-shit person, even though she's was nice and sweet too, but very spicy, which was a lot of fun. Very cool to meet her. Talking about sweet disposition, though, this is Felicia Day. Of course, this is Neil Patrick Harris here, but Felicia Day signed this picture. This is from Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. This is another Joss Whedon project, and, Joss Whedon is not very well looked at right now, but the guy can write. He can write, and this was very much a fun thing that he did, a little musical. And Felicia Day is as much a fan as she is an actress. That's a great thing about her. She was also in Eureka, and she's been in a bunch of other things. Very, very cool person. She was running around meeting people just like the rest of us fans and press people. So I'll always remember that I felt like, oh, she's a star here, but she's running around, like the rest of us, just wanting to meet people. And if you don't recognize this picture, this is from the original Indiana Jones. This is Karen. I'm sorry, getting distracted here. This is Karen Allen. Now, the interesting thing about her is I had gotten permission to go into a venue with her and a bunch of other actors to do interviews, and too many people got into the room, and the fire marshal shut it down, and everyone got kicked out except the actors and, weirdly, me. So I did my interview with her, but I ended up spending about another, 30 minutes just chatting, and she talked about her teaching and other things that she was doing. Very fun time and special time, because I love this movie, and she makes the movie as much as Harrison Ford does, honestly. I mean, this guy right here needs no introduction. George Romero, creator of Dawn of the Dead. When he found out I'm a filmmaker, a documentary filmmaker in particular, he spent a ton of time talking to me about filmmaking, giving me some advice that I still carry with me to this day. And just amazing. So this was a funny project here. I was doing an event for... I can't remember, honestly. It was an event I didn't even really want to do, but Dick Durock was there. Dick Durock plays the Swamp Thing in the original Swamp Thing movie. So he signed this picture and gave it to me while I was there, and I put it aside thinking, boy, it would be cool one day if I ever ran into Adrienne Barbeau and could get her to sign it, and sure enough, I did. I did at a separate event. separate convention. I was just there at that one for fun, and I heard she was there, and I brought my picture with her, and now I have a complete. Very cool. So this is a funny one. This is, of course, Captain Kirk himself, William Shatner. I did not meet him. I will not have any pretense about that. I donated to a charity, an equestrian charity at an event, and put my information down, and some people were randomly chosen because he is a big proponent of, horses and, charity for them and that kind of thing. Were randomly picked to get photos, signed photos, and I just got picked. Got it in the mail. Kate Mulgrew, second best captain ever in Star Trek. I was at a Star Trek event. You saw some other pictures. You'll see some more from that event. She was there. If there ever was a woman out of time, it's got to be her, because she seems so old school Hollywood, so proper and precise in her speaking, and very, very nice, but just so much more precise and formal in the way she carried herself compared to a lot of other people. Very much like the captain herself, right? This is Mitch Pileggi. This is a picture from the X-Files. He played B.F. Skinner, the sort of FBI boss of Mulder and Scully. I was at an X-Files reunion event and a video game release, I believe, and he signed this. Very cool. Here is Cassandra Peters, aka Elvira. I actually met her at a birthday event for her, and she's a very, very lovely person, and very lovely outside of all of this makeup too. I don't think the woman is aging at all. She's incredible, but just as funny as Elvira, her alter ego. James Doohan. This is another Star Trek actor. He played Mr. Scott, and the thing about him is, I don't know that he was that good of an actor. I think he just was playing himself, because when you met him, he was bubbly and boisterous as Mr. Scott was on the TV show and in the films, which I'm more familiar with. He has passed away now, sadly. This is Erin Gray. Erin Gray was also in Buck Rogers. I met her at a convention. She was supporting a charity event. I can't remember what that was, but very cool. Very nice person. This is Marina Baccarin, if that's, or Marina, maybe? Baccarin, if that's pronounced correctly. She was in Firefly. She's also been in Homeland and, of course, the Deadpool movies. And she was a very, very elegant, very nice, very elegant person. Very, very cool. Marina Certais from Star Trek. She was very sweet person also at the Star Trek event. She was kind of bouncing around talking to all of her friends. I guess maybe they hadn't seen each other in a while, so didn't spend much time talking with her for that particular interview, but she was really cool, really nice. And believe me, I would tell you if I had a bad experience. I have had some bad experiences doing press events, but I don't have pictures from those people because I don't really want to remember that event, This is Rose McGowan. This is a picture from Grindhouse. This one was just at a science fiction event I was doing filming, and she was there and signing stuff, and very, very spicy and fun and a nice person. And she gave me this card too. Gillian Anderson, my favorite. She was my favorite for a long time. I love Gillian Anderson because she's a very beautiful woman, but she's also extremely smart, and you get that vibe off her when you talk to her. I've met her at 3 different events, and each time was a wonderful experience. And that'll do it. All I have left here is an Army of Darkness comic here that I was gifted that on the inside actually has signatures of the creators. I do have other books with other signatures in it, but this is the biggest one. Let's see. I think maybe there's something. Oh, there's something else here. It's back of the book. Is there anything else? Oh, this is the X-Files event, and the cast actually signed this also. So that's about it. But if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments, and let's stay in touch. And if you're hitting up any of the sales right now for Blu-rays and 4Ks, let me know what you're purchasing. I promise the next video will be right back on that physical media. Until next we meet, pull something cool off the shelf, share it with your friends and family, and remind them why physical media is the best way to watch films and TV. I'll see you guys on the next one.